Before we jump into today's episode, I want to take a moment to say this. Safety isn't about checklists, policies, or paperwork. It's about people. Welcome to Safety on Purpose, the podcast where we challenge traditional safety thinking and explore what it really takes to protect people, build trust, and lead with intention. I'm your host, Joe Garcia, and each episode we dive into real conversations about leadership, culture, human behavior, and the moments that shape how work actually gets done. If you believe safety should be human-centered, practical, and purpose-driven, you're in the right place. Make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Now let's get into today's conversation. Let me start with a scenario that's probably familiar to more people than we admit. You walk in on day one. You're excited, you're motivated, and you want to make a difference. And someone, maybe your boss, maybe a supervisor, maybe HR, says something like, "Here's the safety stuff. Let us know if you see anything." And that's it. No transition, no roadmap, no explanation of what success actually looks like. Just go be the safety person. And in that moment, the pressure hits because now you're responsible for OSHA compliance, training, any injuries, any near misses, behavior, culture, leadership expectations, and somehow morale. Welcome to Safety on Purpose, where we talk about safety as it actually exists, not how it looks in a policy manual. Today's episode is for new safety professionals, safety pros starting at a new company, or anyone who feels like they were handed safety with no instructions. We're talking about your first 90 days, not how to impress everyone, not how to fix everything, but how to do them right. Why the first 90 days matters more than you think. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The first 90 days of your safety role will shape how people see you for years. Whether they trust you, whether they involve you, whether they work with you or around you, and most safety professionals unintentionally sabotage this period by trying to prove their value way too fast. They come in ready to rewrite policies, correct unsafe acts immediately. Now, I'm not saying don't do that if somebody's in danger, but you have to be careful how you do that. Roll out new training, enforce rules. And while all of this matters, timing matters more because safety, it's not just technical, it's relational. And relationships aren't built by authority. They're built by understanding. So today we're breaking the first 90 days into 3 deliberate phases. Number 1, days 1 through 30. All you have to do in this phase is simply listen. Number 2, days 31 to 60. All you have to do in this phase is learn. Learn the business. Learn what makes them money, how they make money, what is the operations all about, and how do they make what they make or do what they do. Learn. Day 61 through 90, lead, but lead carefully. Each phase has a purpose, and each phase has traps. And if you skip one, you'll feel it later. Let's go a little bit deeper into phase 1, days 1 through 30. Now, I said, listen, let's break this down a little bit. Now, let me be very clear about something. Your first 30 days are not for fixing safety. They're for understanding people, the pressures they're under, and the reality that they face every day. The number one mistake in the first 30 days, the biggest mistake safety professionals make early, is talking way too much. We explain, we correct, we quote regulations, we show we know the answer. But knowledge without context creates resistance. So instead, your mindset for the first 30 days should be, I'm here to learn how safety really works here. Learn the business before the hazards. Before you focus on hazards, learn everything about that business. Ask questions like, how does this company actually make a product and make money off of this product? What happens if production has to stop? What does a bad day look like operationally? Because here's the reality. If your safety guidance conflicts with how business survives, you don't acknowledge that, you will be ignored. That doesn't mean safety isn't important. It means people are balancing pressure you need to understand. Get out of the office and stay quiet. You cannot understand safety from behind a desk. So get out, walk the floor, ride with drivers if you have truckers, or if you have any type of machines or equipment that goes on the road. Stand next to operators as they're operating machines. Climb ladders. Watch processes start to finish. But here's the key. Do not correct what you see. Not yet. Instead, ask, can you walk me through this? What usually goes wrong here? What do you do when you're behind schedule? Then stop talking. Silence, it can be uncomfortable, but it also can be very powerful because people will tell you the truth if they don't feel judged. Identify the real safety program. Every workplace has the written safety program, right? Let's find what the real safety program is. Your job in that first 30 days is to learn the unwritten rules. What's enforced? What's ignored? What's rushed? And what's worked around? None of this makes people bad. It makes them human. And if you don't understand this reality, every future safety initiative will miss the mark.
Let's take a quick break.
Let me pause here for just a moment, because what we're talking about right now is exactly why Safety on Purpose exists. Too often, safety becomes about rules instead of relationships, compliance instead of conversations, and metrics instead of meaning. This podcast was created to challenge that mindset, to shift safety from something we enforce to something we live. Whether you're a safety professional, supervisor, or a leader at any level, my goal is simple: to help you protect people with intention, not just policy. If today's conversation resonated with you, do me a favor. Follow the show. Share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. And join us as we continue building a safer culture, one conversation at a time. All right, let's get back to the show.
Now let's dive into phase 2. Days 31 through 60. Learn the system. By days 31 through 60, something starts to change, right? People know who you are now. They're watching. They're deciding whether you're helpful, naive, or just another safety person who won't last. This phase is about connecting people, paperwork, and practice. Review the safety system with context. Now is the time to review policies, procedures, training records, OSHA logs, incident investigations, near-miss reports, if they have them. A lot of times people don't like to document their near misses. A lot of people don't even like the term near miss, what they wrote down, because they may have near misses written in another way, a good catch or something along those lines. But don't ask the question, is this compliant? Ask, does this make sense? Is this usable? Does this reflect your reality? Compliance without logic is fragile. Look for friction, not failure. When people don't follow safety rules, it's usually not defiance. It's friction. PPE that doesn't fit. Procedures that slow the job down. Training that doesn't match the task they're trying to complete. These aren't discipline problems. They're design problems. Write them down. Map them out. Reset the urge to fix everything immediately. You want to build credibility through small wins. This is where trust is built. Not with a new policy, not with some big announcement, but with small, meaningful actions. Some examples could be fixing broken equipment, getting better PPE approved, improving lighting, helping a supervisor solve a real issue, When people see you helping, not policying, they start pulling you instead of pushing you away. All right, let's move into phase 3, days 61 through 90. You need to lead here, but you need to lead carefully. Now, and only now, are you ready to influence direction. But leadership in safety is not about control, it's about clarity. Pick one meaningful priority, not 10, not a full program overhaul. 1. Ask yourself, what risk could seriously injure or kill somebody? What problem keeps repeating? What change would actually matter? That's your focus. Anything more will dilute your credibility. Involve the people doing the work. Safety designed in isolation fails every time. Bring workers and supervisors into the creation or discussion of what's going on. You want to have risk discussions, procedure updates, training improvement. When people help build safety, they're going to protect it. When they have some authorship behind what's being created, they're going to be more protective of what's actually being put out there. Set expectations without becoming the cop. This is when you clarify what is non-negotiable, what will be enforced, what support looks like. Not with threats, not with lectures, but with consistency. People don't need harsh enforcement. They need predictable leadership. Let's talk about some common pitfalls that derail the first 90 days. Let me call out a few mistakes that quietly destroy trust. Trying to be liked instead of respected. Using OSHA as a weapon instead of a tool. Overcorrecting way too early. Ignoring production pressure. Mistaking silence for agreement. And the biggest one, thinking you have to prove you deserve the role. You don't have to do that. Your role is proven by helping people go home safe day after day. If you're in your first 90 days right now, let me leave you with this. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are learning. Strong safety leadership is built slowly on trust, understanding, and consistency. If this episode resonated with you, share it with somebody.
As we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with this thought. Safety isn't about perfection. It's about intention. It's about the choices we make, the conversations we have, and the people we choose to protect every single day. If today's episode challenged your thinking, encouraged you, or simply made you pause and reflect, that means the conversation is working. Safety on Purpose exists to help leaders and safety professionals move beyond compliance and build trust rooted in accountability and care. If you found value in this episode, please take a moment to follow or subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts, and consider sharing it with someone who leads people or influences culture. New episodes of Safety on Purpose are released bi-weekly with bonus content throughout the year designed to equip, challenge, and inspire the next generation of safety leaders. And remember, safety doesn't happen by accident. It happens on purpose. I'm Joe Garcia. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.